Welcome dear students in today's lecture. The topic of discussion in module that is water, and the topic of today's discussion it is the methods to determine the extent of water pollution through COD. COD, that is a chemical oxygen demand, and this is my presentation. So this is the session related to determination of extent of water pollution through a COD. COD, that is chemical oxygen demand. So basically there are different methods are present to determine the extent of water pollution present in that particular sample, like BOD, that is biological oxygen demand. The another method is chemical oxygen demand, that is COD. So in biological oxygen demand we determine only the amount of oxygen required for degradation or decomposition of organic matter present in a water sample under aerobic condition, and the temperature is required, that is 20 degrees Celsius, and incubation period it is a 5 days. So it has required a longer duration, and for that purpose we use the another method to determine the extent of water pollution, that is chemical oxygen demand. So basically chemical oxygen demand is defined as the amount of oxygen required by organic matter in a sample of water for its oxidation by using a strong oxidizing agent is known as chemical oxygen demand of the sample. So organic matter contains biologically oxidizable and biologically inert material. In a chemical oxidation, all organic matters are converted into CO2 and H2. So definition is, in chemical oxidation, both biologically oxidizable organic matter like starch, sugar, and biologically inert materials like cellulose are oxidized, and hence COD values are always higher than the BOD. That is, COD, chemical oxygen demand, is greater than biological oxygen demand. And this COD can be determined in 3 hours only by following two parts, that is blank titration and a back titration. So their process, first of all, the part first, that is back titration. So in that titration we take a wastewater sample or industrial effluent or sewage water sample which is refluxed with a known excess of potassium dichromate, that is K2Cr2O7, in a dilute sulfuric acid in the presence of silver sulfate as a catalyst or mercuric sulfate. So all these contents are taken in a round bottom flask. So in that potassium dichromate, that is K2Cr2O7, it is a strong oxidizing agent in acidic medium. So it oxidizes the organic matter, whatever the organic matters are present in a provided wastewater sample or sewage water sample or industrial effluent, and after oxidation they get converted into CO2, H2O and ammonia. The unreacted excess of dichromate remaining is titrated with standard solution of ferrous ammonium sulfate, that is FAS, by using Ferroin indicator, and the reading is obtained, that is constant burette reading, which is noted as V1 ml. So this is related to back titration. The next process for part second, that is blank titration. The known volume of distilled water is refluxed with a known excess of potassium dichromate K2Cr2O7 in a dilute sulfuric acid in presence of silver sulfate, that is catalyst, or mercuric sulfate. So all these content again taken in another round bottom flask. In that reaction also potassium dichromate acts as a strong oxidizing agent which oxidizes the organic matter, whether biologically oxidizable and biologically inert organic matter present in a water sample. So after oxidation it gets converted into CO2, H2O and ammonia. The unreacted excess of dichromate remaining is titrated with standard solution of ferrous ammonium sulfate by using Ferroin indicator, and the constant burette reading is obtained, that is V2 ml. So V1, it is a constant burette reading obtained in part first, that is back titration, and V2, the titration reading is obtained in part second, that is blank titration. So this is the apparatus which are used for determination of COD in part first, that is back titration. So in that, this is a water condenser. It has a lower, that is water inlet, upper it is water outlet. This is a water bath. In that we take a round bottom flask in which all the contents along with wastewater sample or sewage waste or industrial effluents are taken and heated, that is refluxed for 1.5 hour. So wastewater sample plus potassium dichromate plus silver sulfate in dilute sulfuric acid as a catalyst or mercuric sulfate. So ferrous ammonium sulfate and ferroin indicator. Whatever the solution are refluxed in their round bottom flask. So after refluxing, that round bottom flask are removed, and whatever the contents are obtained, they get transferred in a conical flask and titrated with a ferrous ammonium sulfate present in a burette by using ferroin indicator. And whatever the readings are obtained, that is constant burette reading, it is V1 ml for that back titration. So similar way, the another part, that is blank titration. So in that blank titration, the another setup is required. We use water condenser connected to round bottom flask in which the contents are taken distilled water plus potassium dichromate plus silver sulfate in dilute sulfuric acid as a catalyst or mercuric sulfate. Again, it is refluxed for 1.5 hour, and whatever the contents are refluxed in that round bottom flask. So all these contents are titrated with ferrous ammonium sulfate present in a burette by using ferroin indicator, and the constant burette reading is obtained, that is V2 ml. So back titration and blank titration. After that, whatever the chemical reaction during the determination of chemical oxygen demand of a provided wastewater sample, the chemical reactions are take place. Whatever the organic matters are present, that is CX, HY, OZ, these are the number of that particular atoms present in that organic matter. For example, we are taking a glucose, that is carbohydrate C6H12O6, undergoing oxidation gives 6CO2 plus 6H2O. During oxidation, the reactions are takes place, that is potassium dichromate in that dichromate ion. Basically, potassium dichromate, it is a strong oxidizing agent. It causes oxidation of organic matter and oxidizes itself, undergoing oxidation. And during titration, that is ferrous ammonium sulfate, the iron is present, Fe2 plus undergoing oxidation Fe3, that is loss of electron. And this is total reaction which is observed in chemical oxygen demand, that is determination of COD of a provided wastewater sample. So similar reaction, carbohydrates, we are taking a glucose, undergoing oxidation, gives CO2 and water. During oxidation, such type of reactions are present, and this is total reaction. Dichromate ion plus 14H plus, that is hydrogen ion, plus ferrous ion gives Cr3 plus Fe3 plus 7H2. So this is a total chemical reaction that takes place during the oxidation of wastewater sample, that is chemical oxygen demand. Then next is the calculation. So whatever the readings are obtained in back titration and blank titration, by considering that reaction, we calculate the chemical oxygen demand of a sample. So this is the formula for COD, chemical oxygen demand, V2 minus V1 into N into 8 into 1000 upon Y. Unit is milligrams per liter or parts per million. And these are the terms. V1, volume of 1 normal ferrous ammonium sulfate by wastewater sample which is obtained in back titration. V2, that is the volume of 1 normal ferrous ammonium sulfate used in blank titration. N is the normality of ferrous ammonium sulfate, and Y, it is the volume of wastewater sample taken for the test. And this is the significance. So basically, significance of COD is in calculating the efficiency of treatment plant and proposing standards for discharge of domestic effluents. So this is first significance. The efficiency of treatment plant is checked, and standards for discharge of domestic effluents. And second is chemical oxygen demand is more useful than BOD, biological oxygen demand, for the estimation of amount of oxygen in industrial waste. So these are the two significance of chemical oxygen demand are present. Thank you.